Hello everyone and welcome to QualityOldGames. Today we are having part 3 of the 1000 subscriber special campaign, namely that of Eastern Infantry only. And without further ado, I think we are ready to finish this turn. And by the way, thanks for the tips and advices you have given me. So it might be wise to abandon Campus Sakai and try to have peace with Scythians. Let's see if we are able to do it. And it seems the siege of Hatra has been lifted. That's at least good news. And I'm just wondering, should I take the troops and head towards Antioch? I think I will try it. And here, unfortunately, there is a reinforcing army, but I think... Oh, the gates are open. Excellent. And one unit of phalanx pikemen and a general. So I think we might actually be able to take this city. And that in turn would make it somewhat easier to take Antioch. And that I think is rather huge city, so it in turn should give us ample of resources, or rather population, to get these Eastern Infantries. And I guess we most definitely want to flank those hoplites. But we might actually be able to flank the enemy general as well. Let's put these Eastern Infantries into decent enough position. And let's see. So they need to rest a bit. I guess in addition to poor morale, they are in bad shape as well. So, if we could try to lure these guys into such a position that we could engage them, especially with the Eastern Infantries, that would be great, and then flank them with the general and conserve the javelins for those phalanx pikes, which unfortunately are in the city center. So let's see what happens. I think a couple of javelins might work wonders here. Okay, it's time to start throwing. And apparently no effect. Okay. And it's time to charge. And so much for flanking with these guys. But at least we do have quite a lot of experience there for the generals, so actually this went rather well after all. And now the question is, could we get into this side without too many problems? So let's hope these guys don't fan out. And then we could shower these guys with some spears. And they are coming to engage. So let's try to back away quickly. Go, go, go. Don't rout. Okay. So much for that. But we still need to engage. And let's wait for a bit. If we could get these guys off from the immediate surroundings of the city square. And it seems these guys... Oh, there are one phalanx pikeman fighting there, apparently. Let's see. Can we take him down? Apparently that's rather difficult. They are oriented towards this side here. So let's try to get at least one unit to their back. And of course, this might give us an opportunity to strike. Let's blare the horn and see what happens. And I think they should change their orientation soon enough. Or perhaps not. And it seems our general unit is the one that needs to inflict the casualties there. Okay, nice. Clear enough. Especially considering our army consisted of some Eastern Infantries. And we can actually retrain these guys here. Nice. And since... Oh! These are actually a lot worse than Eastern Infantry, so let's disband them and train a unit of Eastern Infantry in their stead. And here, oh, there's quite a lot of troops actually. Would that trader bring? Well, some money, but not too much. But perhaps it's wise to make that one. And so quite a few horse archers. Let's see what happens. So they are besieging Palmyra. So if we can trade Palmyra for Antioch, I think we most definitely will do it. And I think this is going to be a clear loss. But let's try to inflict some damage at least. with some luck we could get those elephants to run amok and hit their own troops. Even though that's quite unlikely. So they are perhaps some kind of peltasts, phalanx pikemen. And it seems the elephants are leading the charge, which might be a good thing if we can break them, or rather cause them to run amok. So if we can trade this city, for example to Antioch, I think it would be a beneficial trade, since then Tarsus is open to us as well, and I doubt that the enemies will keep a strong garrison here. So it seems our Eastern Infantries were able to inflict some damage on those elephants. And these guys are wavering here. So come here quickly. And they are breaking. What's this? And then militia cavalry seems to be fighting to the bitter end. Okay, so much for that. But we did some casualties to the enemy, or inflicted. Perhaps an alliance. So, the Scythians are not trying to sally out from here. So basically this means that we can try the war of attrition on them. And then we most definitely want our best general to cut up in a siege here. Okay, so we have some mercenaries available. And can we train something there? No, we cannot. What about Seleucia and Arsacia? And luckily these guys are still holding their position here. And perhaps we won't be sending any reinforcements here. What would happen if we take... Okay. So we would need... Well, not necessarily. Perhaps we will send one unit to reinforce that. And I think Damascus will be besieged soon. So taking that Antioch and taking it quickly is rather important. Perhaps we want to withdraw. Okay, so that's an army we could try to engage. Oh, and by the way, our faction leader is rather in tough position at the moment. because we cannot get to the north side of Antioch in any reasonable way. So basically, well, perhaps he can help with the siege, but that has to be checked out. And the reason for putting these troops here in the back is that I hope that the militia cavalry will pull ahead of the rest of the forces, and we could actually go to engage it with our general. Okay, so they have 2 units of missile cavalry. Let's try to cause some disruption here. And perhaps we could engage those peasants there. Okay, so much for that. The lesson learned here is not to use too wide formation with the general, especially when there are phalanxes nearby. So let's try to hit the enemy general. I'm a bit afraid that we have lost this battle, but let's try to cause some damage at the very least. Okay, good. So perhaps not a loss, at least just yet. And we're actually able to take these guys out as well. So let's see. Those hoplites are running ahead of the rest of the army, so that gives us some options. And I think we will engage that flank first. Or perhaps actually this one is a bit better. If we move quick enough. Okay, they are breaking, good. Then that unit there will be next. Good. Then this one next. Or perhaps actually this one. Since it's alone, a bit more. Okay. And let's try to make sure that this doesn't come back to the battle. It's really a shame that I managed to plunder the first attack there. Okay, they are breaking. Good. The number of our cavalrymen is dwindling. Okay, those guys are running. So we have 2 phalanxes to deal with. And perhaps we will wait a bit before taking them on. Unless of course they are withdrawing, which they seem to be doing. And actually we don't need to care about anything about the survival of these bodyguards here, so we can try to catch up with this last enemy unit. Because in worst case scenario they head to Antioch to reinforce the defenses there, and it seems they got away. But not too many enemy survivors. It's a shame we lost the general here. And now we don't have a general there. So the new faction heir is the one besieging Campus Alanni. And I think we need to have one more Eastern Infantry there. Or is it more beneficial to lower the taxes? So 150. And here... Well, actually... I think it might be wiser to lower the taxes. And... Well... Even though if Skunksa will be able to open the gates, I'm a bit doubtful that we can actually take the settlement with these forces. So perhaps we should settle for Tarsus. So now there are some elephants, but Antioch is rather defenseless, and since these guys came from Antioch, and of course they retreated that way. But let's hope the gates of Antioch are open, because that might solve quite a few things. And these guys are taking casualties quite nicely. And it's actually good that this guy is faction heir. So it will take 3 more turns until surrender. Let's send one more unit there. And of course some new units in Seleucia. And now I think it's the moment of truth. Unfortunately, this didn't work out as planned. And had I been wise, I would have sent one unit to block the enemies. But as the situation is what it is, I think... we want to try to take the settlement. Can we somehow harass these other enemy troops here? Let's see. And in Damascus we can actually raise taxes a bit. So let's see what the Seleucids will do. Okay, it seems our harassment wasn't good enough. Of course, if we manage to beat both of these armies, we can actually take the settlement there. And I think the enemy, is it faction leader actually? Faction heir will be our primary target first, and after taking him down, we will focus on these guys. So they will come directly from our right flank, and it seems we need to make it or we will break it. So, from the right flank, and hopefully we could actually engage the enemy general with the Eastern Infantries so that our general unit can be spared for the real battle that will come soon. And let's engage. And actually we need to circle. Oh, I didn't realize that the morale there is so poor. Okay. So perhaps we should go to do some harassment, and this time let's make the formation a bit better. And the enemy general is pulling ahead of the forces here. So let's see if we could go to engage him. And it's good that these guys are marching back and forth, so they will be a bit more tired when the real fighting begins. Okay, so this isn't working out as planned. Could we chase them against, for example, that rock formation? Let's see. Apparently not. And I think they should start running out of javelins rather soon. And since they don't have javelins anymore, could we somehow lure them? These troops need to start moving here. So let's try to rule the enemy general in a position where we can put them between these rocks and our general. Okay, and let's stay careful of those phalanx pikemen. And if we are able to engage even one, we might be able to pull the rest of the enemy troops to us. Okay, like that. Excellent. We have levy pikemen and phalanx pikemen. They will be the first targets here. Okay, good. That's actually surprisingly good. And those are breaking as well. Okay. So now the most important thing, it seems, is to keep our general alive. And I think these guys can take it a bit easier for time being, while we slaughter some hoplites and pikemen. Next we have some militia hoplites incoming. And I guess these guys are already exhausted. Actually, that front is a bit too good to engage, so let's pull back a bit while we take care of these guys. And perhaps we should break these peasants as well here. And now there seems to be some fracturing happening on the enemy lines. Okay, good, they are breaking. And let's see if we can charge this flank here. Okay, good. They are breaking. Nice. Those guys are coming back. Too bad for them. These guys here are already wavering at the sight of Eastern Infantry, so I think that flank will be our next target. Okay, they are breaking. Good. Next one. They are breaking. And that flank has collapsed. Excellent. And then we will just push forwards. Okay, so these guys are actually willing to fight. Okay, breaking. Perhaps a bit too many of the enemies are getting away. But let's try to inflict what casualties we can. Okay, nice. And this is working surprisingly well at the moment. So 3 units of phalanxes here, and they all are routing. And we are getting our first golden chevron. Nice. And I think we could get up to 80% kills here. So let's try to make sure that the enemy army is disbanded. Nice. And actually we didn't lose almost anything. So I'm a bit afraid that those elephants will charge. But I guess our decoy army, or whatever it should be called, managed to keep them at bay. And now it's just taking the city. So, changing Palmyra to Antioch, I think that's a trade, at least I would take any day of the week. And let's try to do it with only 2 units.
The walls. Your men will soon be on the city defenses.
Okay, so let's go to take the gateway first. And then a couple of towers. And it seems the way to our victory is clear. So it's time to bring in the rest of the troops. And I guess this side is a bit better. And since I guess these guys are quite a bit of tired, we might want to keep them as a reserve for now. It's really nice that in the remastered version you can change the place of the unit cards here in the user interface. Unfortunately, not the case in this original one. Let's get these troops in place, give them a bit of rest, and then our goal is to use all javelins here and entice this bodyguard to attack the spears here. Or perhaps the wiser course of action would be just to charge at the enemy with the spears, because there might be some bug in the pathfinding, and I end up losing my general, and I really cannot afford to lose this general, so let's try to play it safe. Warmed up. I guess we are ready to charge rather soon. Okay. So he's taking casualties. These guys are still eager. So far, looking good. And I think we have a victory. Nice. Quite heavy casualties, considering the number of enemies, but Antioch is ours. And I think we can get rid of stables and the archery range and perhaps this temple. And there is at least some population there we can utilize. Nice. And perhaps we should... No, this influence here is too big. This will rebel without our king as governor. But Tarsus should be a primary target rather soon. And then it seems these guys have one more... Oh, this is not good. Some horse archers and a general. I think we should try to drive them off. And I think we want to take down this initial army as soon as possible. And let's see if the enemy general will run away or if he will fight. I was considering of saving these javelins against those horse archers, but I guess as this is Eastern General, we have some better use for these. So, if they waste their javelins on the Eastern Infantries there, then I think our general has better chances of hitting them. I guess we need to catch our breaths here before we can actually do something. Oh, and those guys are not panicking anymore. But fortunately the hillmen are getting in here, so we can try to engage them. Oh, not good.
The gods smile upon you today. The enemy general has been killed and his men lose heart.
Oh, and we managed to engage them. So basically, I think they will go down.
Smile upon you today. The enemy general has been killed and his men lose heart. As enemies, these men are perfect. They are running from the battle in terror.
Okay, so now we have only the, I guess, Scythian mercenaries to deal with. Let's send in the infantry. They can chase them and with some luck even engage them. And let's take this side, as it's more likely that the AI will move them this way. Or then perhaps not. I think the angle here would support that. Well, so much for that angle. Oh.
Enemy flee. Chase them from the field and give them no rest or pity.
I guess we won't be catching them. So, those Armenian armies defeated.
Victory is ours, mighty one! My liege, forward! No more moves, sire.
And we actually have some Eastern Mercenaries available there.
Mighty general, march! Orders!
So these are light, so blacksmith most certainly will be beneficial. In Arsacia as well, and I think in Seleucia, and well, not necessarily here. But let's make the execution square, and then next turn we need to try to liberate Hatra. And I think we have a turn. Okay. So 2 units of hillmen and 1 general. I think this is better this way. Because now we can utilize the city center. And it might even be that those hillmen will break quite fast.
New troops have arrived on the battlefield. Send them to the point
Then
of
again,
crisis.
at least these troops will be quite tired when they actually get to the fighting.
The walls are taken. The enemy stands ready to take the town.
So, let's hope the enemy general will charge first. Apparently, that won't be the case, unfortunately. And I think taking down the enemy general is the primary target here. If he falls, then the rest of his army will fall as well. And where is he? There. Good, in the heart of the fight. And we are starting to get the numbers. Or are we? This says that we should have killed more enemies than we have lost our own troops, but I don't think the battle is going that well for us. Even though there are only the general and 4 bodyguards left now. But the casualties are actually quite big here. Good, the first unit is routing. The enemy general is dead.
As enemies, these men are perfect. They are running from the battle in terror.
And let's try to make sure that these guys are not coming back. Well, I guess we won't be catching them.
Victory is yours. And
But without those reinforcements, we wouldn't have had that victory.
Move out. Out of moves, great lord.
So that at least means something in terms of how many Eastern Infantries we do need to protect our cities. And I'm a bit afraid that the Egyptians will declare war soon, or rather not declare it, but attack right away.
Orders. Engage the enemy.
So, some more casualties there. Perhaps they are at 2/3 of strength at the moment. And what if we take the
Mighty general.
general away. The public order drops quite drastically, but there shouldn't be a rebellion just yet. And apparently there are no mercenaries available here. If we take a significant portion of the troops with us, what's the situation then? Decent enough so that we will move against Tarsus, especially since the gates are open. How I would like to have at least one unit of these Cilician pirates, but not this time. I think this is everything for today, so thank you very much for watching. If you like the content, please leave a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Feel free to post comments, give advice, ask questions and so on. And in the end, let's check how many areas the Seleucids still have. Apparently 3. So unfortunately it won't be enough to take Palmyra back and Tarsus, so there is at least one Seleucid region around here as well. Have a great rest of the day. QualityOldGames out.